up? It's Cinema Shogun here, and it has now been over 48 hours since Quinton Simon, a 20-month-old toddler, went missing from his home in Savannah, Georgia. Now, I try to be as tasteful as possible when covering these type of cases, but when red flags are sticking out, and I mean when red flags are just slapping you across the face, it's hard not to speak up. It's hard not to speculate, because if you've watched my last video, if you haven't already, go check it out. There's just too many key details here that don't seem right to me. You know, Quinton was last seen at 6 a.m., yet his mother canceled the babysitter at 5:30 a.m., but didn't report him missing until 9:30 a.m. And there's way more red flags that I lay all of them out for you in my last video. Go check it out. But instead of sitting here and speculating about what may have happened to Quinton, instead of pointing fingers at Quinton's mother and her boyfriend, what I'm going to do is allow you all to hear from not only Quinton's mother and stepfather, but from her cousin as well, because apparently they think something is shady here as well. Let's go ahead and listen.
I got here about 3 o'clock yesterday.
And I got here about 3:30 in the morning.
It's been crazy. I mean, we don't know nothing. Whether it's the answers we want to hear or answers we don't want to hear, we just want to know something. My concern is him, and that's all it is. I mean, we concerned with his well-being.
I know everybody worked really hard yesterday, but I want them to keep working hard.
And we appreciate everything that everybody has done, all the people that's come out and searched for him and all that. And he's always smiling. He's a happy kid. I mean, you get some kids but he always had a big smile on his face, and he was always happy.
Let me ask you, why are you getting emotional?
Because he's not here. He's just a baby, and I want him home. He's just a baby. Leilani's my daughter. She's 22. She hasn't always done the right things, and sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't. And I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe, because I don't think anybody ever believes that this is going to happen to them. I don't know if I can trust her or if I don't.
I mean,
I just know I'm hurting, and I want this baby home.
We want answers, and we don't have answers.
Just thank you to everybody that's helped.
Thank you for everybody that's looked for him,
and please don't stop looking.
Yeah, like I say, we want answers. We want to find him. That's the answer we want, is somebody found him. You know, we're still hoping and praying, and we wish everybody to pray for him. Pray for us.
Yes.
So hear me out real quick. Here is my thing. If your mother does not trust you, then why should I trust you? I'm just some random guy on YouTube who thinks there's some red flags involved in this case, who thinks there may be foul play involved in this case. But this lady's own mother, Quinton's grandma, doesn't trust her own daughter. She pushed that woman out of her body. You know, she birthed her. And she doesn't believe her. Or she, at the very least, doesn't trust her 100%. You could tell by the way she is crying and breaking down that she thinks her daughter may have something to do with this. And I think she would have went on to say more if her husband wasn't really cutting her off. Now, I don't think there's anything up with the husband. You know, Quinton's grandfather or whatever. I don't think there's anything up with him. That's not what I'm getting at here, but you could tell in the interview when it seemed like Quinton's grandmother was starting to say a little too much and starting to talk about not trusting her own daughter or not knowing if she could trust her own daughter. It seems like he was trying to overtalk her a little bit, kind of try to silence her, not because I think he's hiding anything, but just because he probably doesn't want her saying too much too soon. It's really early. We don't want to point the fingers at anyone, especially our own child if she's innocent. But yeah, it's very obvious that the mother thinks that there's something up here. And if you look at the situation, if you check out all of the details, it's one of those, I don't want to say it's just 100% blatantly obvious that there's foul play involved, But man, it doesn't look good. And law enforcement seems to feel the same way because the search went from searching around the area. And here's a map of the area just to give you an idea of the location. There aren't any big bodies of water around, but there are a couple of ponds and ditches in this area. I don't know how extensively they have searched those, but I honestly don't feel like this toddler just got up at 6 a.m. and just walked out the house and decided to go on his own little kid adventure. I really think there's some foul play involved. And anyway, law enforcement has gone from searching around the area, and now they are searching people's trash cans. All of the neighbors in the neighborhood, they're looking in their trash cans. They're going to the landfills. And that makes me believe, or leads me to believe, that law enforcement, the FBI is involved as well, that they think there's something up here too. And if I think there's something up, then I'm sure they think there's something up, because if I can point out these blatantly obvious red flags, then I'm sure they can see them too. But this isn't the only family member that spoke out about Quinton's mom. Now, Quinton's mom is named Leilani Youngkin. Here's her Facebook profile right here. And on Facebook, one of her cousins actually spoke out against her. I blocked the names out. We don't want to, dox anyone here, but someone was on Facebook and says, "I'm sick to my stomach. How do you not report something this serious until 3 hours later? The math isn't mathing." That is one of my favorite quotes. The math isn't mathing. I really like to say that these days. But that's just a random person weighing in on this case. But then Leilani, Quinton's mother's cousin, weighs in. And they say this: because she did it, or he did it, and she's covering it. They waited on the trash to be picked up. That doesn't seem like a coincidence. And then the person who's not involved in this at all says, "What time is trash pickup? I've been following this story since day one. I have had not so well feelings about this." And then Leilani's cousin says, "I don't know about out there, but our trash got picked up early that day. This is my cousin. She has drug problems and doesn't do very well at caring for her kids, which is why her mom has custody of the first two of her kids. Her son went missing around 6 a.m. the other day, and her boyfriend was the last to see him. Nobody called the law until around 9:30 a.m., and nobody notified the grandma who had custody in the home. Not Leilani, not the boyfriend. The babysitter had to call and tell the grandma that her grandchild was missing." Whoa. The babysitter had to. He went missing on the day of trash pickup, and they also texted the babysitter at 5 a.m. telling her she didn't have to watch them. Something is wrong here. And even her own mom hasn't ruled out that she did something. And exactly, that is something that really sticks out to me, because we've looked into situations like this 1,000 times, haven't we? We all have looked into these missing children's cases, what have you. When the grandma is looking sideways at the daughter, I can't help but look sideways at the daughter as well. And then from everything that I'm hearing from this community about how there was always like commotion and yelling coming from this house, we know that the grandmother was kicking Leilani out. She was about to evict her from the house. She just got papers on the same day that Quinton went missing that she was going to have to pay child support for Quinton. So there was a lot of stuff going on, and it just all points towards the mother and the boyfriend. Now, I'm not saying that they 100% had anything to do with this. All possibilities are still on the table. So I don't want anyone jumping to conclusions. I don't want anyone harassing anyone. Let's keep this classy as possible. But at the same time, we can speculate, healthy speculation. And if the mother and the cousin think that, hey, then what can we say? You understand what I'm saying here? But they've searched the area very well from what I've seen. And like I told you all, I know people who live in this neighborhood who have sent me video clips. Just law enforcement everywhere, bloodhounds. They're walking around on horses and stuff. And they have found nothing whatsoever. So I'm not sure what's going to come of this. I think that something really bad happened here. I don't think this toddler was abducted by a stranger. I don't think this toddler just upped and decided to walk out the house and leave. I think that there's foul play involved. But that's just my opinion. And the grandmother thinks there may be as well. And even in other interviews, I don't want to quote her, but she said something along the lines of not putting this past her daughter. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this situation. There are more updates that I will be covering and bringing to you all momentarily. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. But for now, let me know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.